Hi, Mark Portlock here, and thanks for taking a look at this video which I've called Failure Thinking. Now, I'm not sure how to describe this video, but one thing I promise you is that if you get a bit down or depressed when things don't work out for you, then what I'll show you now might just help you change the way you look at life. What's helped me to do this has been my background as an engineer, especially a part of which has its roots in what's called control engineering. Now, I'll need to get just a little bit technical here, but stay with me, because when you see how this works out, I'm sure you'll agree that it's worth it. First, let me show you one of the most fundamental building blocks in engineering. It's called a control loop. In fact, strictly speaking, it's called a negative feedback control loop. If you've not heard of it, it's how everything is controlled, from the control of the temperature of your fridge to control of the direction of a jet aircraft. Here's a diagram that should help. Here's how it works, and I'll explain it in terms of how an aircraft's autopilot works. Let's say that the pilot wants the aircraft to head north. So the reference here on the left is set to north. However, the actual heading is here on the right. It gets picked up by the sensor here, and the wanted heading is compared to the actual heading at this point here. The difference is called the measured error, and that error then drives the controller, which in turn changes the system. In this case, the system is the rudder, and it's that which changes the direction of the aircraft towards the north. That's it. It's just a closed loop which continuously checks and acts on the differences between what's wanted and what's actually happening. Okay, now let me redraw this in terms that apply here, that is, in terms of personal goals. The reference on the left is simply what you want. The controller is you, the system is the world, and the system output is what you've got, and the sensor is your eyes and ears, etc. It works the same way as the previous aircraft direction example. So, if you know what you want and you, the controller, act on the world, the system, you will get a result, i.e. the system output. You use your senses, your eyes, your ears, etc., the sensor, to interpret what you've got, the measured output. The difference between what you want and what you've got produces a measured error. This error is just a signal to you to change your approach to the problem, that is, the world. Continue, and it's just a matter of time until the iterations will give you what you want. In other words, you take some action, get some feedback, make a correction, take some action, get some feedback, make a correction, take some action, etc., etc. It's a pretty boring mechanical process. You'll get the result, it's just a question of time. So what's the problem? It's the feedback. Many people really hate negative feedback. They think it means they've failed, and so they give up, which is a real pity, because their so-called failure has given them valuable knowledge, and the likelihood is that they've also moved closer to what they want. So as long as you take action and handle any negative feedback constructively, then it's only a matter of time until you get the result. So if you are taking action, but don't get what you want, rather than thinking that you've failed in any way, instead think of it as just being a signal that you need to change your approach. Thanks for watching. This and other techniques are in a system I've developed, and you can find out more by clicking the link below.